Hey guys, so just a quick update at the beginning of this video. I got a call back from the counselor that I was trying to get in to see, and unfortunately she is not accepting new patients at this time, and she actually has a current waiting list of 2 months of people that are trying to get in. So I can't really see her right now, but I'll probably wait like 6 months and call back and just see if she has any more openings, and I'll probably call her again or email her and just say, hey, I know you're not accepting new patients right now, but in the future, if you do accept new patients again, do you think you can email me or call me and just let me know? That way I can get in to see you, and hopefully I can do that. So I'm going to be going to the place that I had the appointment, but then I ended up canceling to see if I could get in to see her first. So yeah, it is what it is. It really bummed me out, but what can you do? Life doesn't always go the way you would like it to. So anyway, that was just an update about that. I'm just gonna fix my pillows. Hold on, I'm sorry. I just want to be able to sit and be comfortable. Whoa, my alarm clock's falling on me. Okay, so I'm probably going to make a couple of videos regarding this topic, just to kind of break it up, because otherwise I'll probably talk forever in one video, and yeah, I don't want to talk for way too long. So anyway, this video is about relationships. I'm going to start with romantic relationships, and just kind of what I'm thinking about in terms of that. Basically, I have a hard time when it comes to intimate romantic relationships. And I'm not necessarily talking about sex. I'm talking about, being close with somebody on an emotional level, on an intellectual level, and all that stuff. I really want to find somebody that I can share my life with. Somebody that I can talk to who can be a good friend to me, as well as my partner, a lover, somebody to help me out with raising my son, that kind of thing, just, that whole family kind of thing. And in theory, to me, that sounds really great, and I would love to have that, However, I am not so good when it comes to relationships, because having BPD, I tend to throw myself into a relationship rather than letting it progress on its own. It's like, okay, we've been going out for, a couple weeks or a month, and suddenly it's this big serious thing. And that's really not healthy, and a lot of it, I think, stems from, I did not grow up with my father. My father died when my mother was about 4 or 5 months pregnant with me. I never met him, so I never had that part of me. I did have a stepfather for a few years. He came into my life when I was 3, and when I was 6, my mother married him, and he was my stepfather until I was 10. But when I was 9, there was a whole big issue, and we ended up leaving and living with my grandmother, and that was the end of that. So I didn't really have a good foundation when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex, in my case, the opposite sex, in terms of relationships with men, because I never had stability in that regard. And I never had my own father there to kind of guide me as a young girl, as a teenage girl, telling me, you know, um, you know, showing me from a man's point of view that I should have respect for myself and not let boys take advantage of me, or all that stuff that dads should really do with their daughters, protect them and all that stuff, and show their daughters how men are supposed to treat women, and and that whole dynamic of a father-daughter relationship. I never had that. um, and I think that plays a big role in how I view men today. I think, when I was younger, I would be asked if not having a dad affected me. And I would always say, well, of course not. How can something you never had affect you? But I didn't realize how much it actually does affect me. Um, it it really does, because I didn't realize it until I got into my adult years. After I had my son and all that, I didn't realize that all the times that I was looking towards guys or men, being an adult, I wasn't really looking necessarily for a partner, but I was looking for a father figure, a positive male role model that I never had. And I think when I'm looking for a relationship, that's sort of what I'm looking for. Maybe not consciously, but inside I want to have somebody who's strong and independent and that kind of thing, you know, but I also want somebody who can take care of me. I don't mean do everything for me, but when kind of like when you're a child or a teenager and something happens and your parents are there for you in that way that it's going to be okay, just as long as they're there. I think that's kind of what I look for, and I don't necessarily know if that's healthy. um, I'm not really sure about that. I just know that I think on some level I look for sort of like an older male role model, because when I am attracted to men, I'm generally attracted to men who are older than me by like 5-10 years. Um, and sometimes a little older. It depends on the man. um, and I've never really been attracted to men my own age necessarily. I mean, when I was in school and stuff, when I was younger, I was attracted to boys in my class and stuff like that, little crushes and whatnot. But as I got older, I realized that I didn't really relate to people who were my own age. I don't know why. I just don't. I tend to think boys my own age from where I am from are kind of stupid. And they're just way too immature for me. Like, where their heads are at isn't where mine is at. Mine is, I've always been told that I'm kind of years ahead of my time in terms of maturity and that kind of thing. So maybe on some level I can't relate, because where their minds are at. They're way back here and I'm way over here. So I started looking to older men, and of course I think that goes back to the whole father thing. So, anyway, when I've been in relationships, I tend to, like I said, kind of go kind of fast. Like, I want someone to care about me so much that I will do pretty much anything hoping that that will happen. I'm like, well, maybe if I act this way or do this or do that, this person will fall in love with me and will want to be with me forever, and take care of me. And, this whole thought process that is probably ridiculous, but it's how I feel, and it's hard because I know that not being myself isn't going to help me in relationships. But I feel like showing my true self will just push guys away, men away. They'll see who I really am, and for some reason I won't be good enough, and they'll leave. And that's another thing. I've never felt good enough with a guy that I've dated. I always felt like I had to be better, like who I am as I am right now, what I look like, all of that just isn't good enough. And, so I end up trying to act. I mean, I don't act like I'm a completely different person necessarily, but I will do things that I might not necessarily do all the time. Like my last relationship, I constantly, oh, my cat's outside. He wants to come in. I'm just going to finish this real quick. I would constantly want to sort of be like the the girlfriend that always had dinner on the table, you know, always did the laundry for him, like doing all these little things that I thought would show that I cared about this person, and in return that person would be grateful and be appreciative, and it would our relationship would kind of grow in that sense. But in the end, it didn't really matter what I did. I mean, the person didn't even care about all those little things. They didn't even notice. So, I don't know. I guess when it comes to romantic relationships, I want all of it. I want the whole thing, the good and the bad. But the way that I conduct myself in relationships, I think sabotages me, you know. And not only that, I tend to have this, I don't know what it is, but I can be completely infatuated with somebody and think the world of them. But then if they do something that I don't like or disapprove of or what have you, I can go from here to here. Like, I idolize you to I can't stand you and I don't want to be near you and you embarrass me and go away. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, it's a constant battle that I struggle with in terms of romantic relationships. I want you near, I want to be close, yet you do something I don't like, get the hell away from me, kind of thing. Um, I don't know. And I tend to want men that I can't have. For instance, I will start to develop feelings for somebody who is already involved with somebody else. Whether I know it or not, that tends to happen. And I think that is because it's sort of like a safe way of liking someone, because I know I can't have that person. So there's no risk involved. It's just, oh, I like that person, but I can never have that person. So it's always at a distance. It's never, I like that person is single, that person might be attracted to me, and if they are, let's pursue that. It's not like that, you know what I mean? And when I do get around somebody who is available and may show interest in me, I have no interest in them. And I don't know if it's because they are single and there's that whole risk thing, or if I'm just genuinely not interested. I don't know. I really don't know. All right, well, I'm going to leave this here. I'm not really sure what else to say about this other than I want this I- idea of something, but I don't know if that will necessarily happen in reality. I don't know if I'm even ready for that kind of thing. I do know that I'm lonely, and I would very much like to find something, you know, even if it doesn't lead to like long-term foreverness, just even having like a first real true relationship, you know, would be nice. At least like a starter one. You know what I mean? Doesn't have to lead to marriage or anything, but I don't know. I guess that's what therapy's all about, trying to figure this stuff out. All right, well, I'm gonna go because I'm sure my cat wants to come in. I'm sorry about my hair if I look really bad. It's been raining a lot, and my hair is kind of frizzy, and I didn't want to wash it because if I wash it on a rainy day, then it's just even worse. So I'm sorry if I look silly or whatever. Okay, well, I'm seriously gonna go this time. All right, you guys take care. Bye.